The last turning point that really kind of sealed our success is he kept getting sick. So they decided we got to take him to the hospital because they need to run a CT scan of his intestines to figure out what's causing the pain, the diarrhea, and all of that stuff. There's only one machine, and it's in the green zone, which is in downtown Baghdad. We're at the airport, typical major metropolitan city. The airport is always on the outskirts, and it's 35, 40 minutes to get into downtown. Again, logistically from a plane, right? Two Black Hawks. He and I on one, the other is a decoy in case we get shot down. Apaches flying circle cover for us. Quick reaction force standing by in case we get shot down. They come and rescue us. Right? Half of the hospital shut down, no access to protect. Moving from the prison to the helicopter in the back of an ambulance to hide his movement. Show up to get him. First time he's seen me in a military uniform. It scared him. It shocked him that I was wearing a military uniform. I didn't want to tell him I was wearing a military uniform in case we get shot down. I didn't want to be mistaken for anything except an American. I wrote him up. We're taking. He's shackled, right? Prisoner. He's got to wear body armor. Military regulations require you to be blindfolded when he's put on the helicopter. Now you would think if you're afraid of flying, at some point that should probably come up in conversation, probably before we get on the helicopter, right? But it slipped his mind. So we literally get on this Black Hawk, close the door, and we take off, and it's a combat takeoff. Combat takeoffs on a Black Hawk in a war zone is very different than your typical helicopter, right? It can literally scare the heck out of you. And we take off, and he has the biggest panic attack you can imagine. I'm sitting next to him, right, and trying to figure out what to do. So for 35 minutes, I comfort that man. Massaged his back, rubbed his shoulders, right, whispered sweet things in his ear. For 35 minutes, all I kept telling him was, just listen to the sound of my voice, stay calm, I will take care of you. I don't remember saying this to him, but he told me I said it, right? At one point in that ride, I told him that I promised him that I would not let anything happen to him and that I would protect him. So we get to the hospital, and the test involves, you got to drink this chalky liquid. It's about 1 liter, and it changes the color of your intestines so they can identify the problems or what's the cause and everything, right? I've never had the test done yet, thank God, because when you drink that chalky liquid, usually about an hour and a half or so, some of you have had it because I can see the head nodding, the liquid comes out, and it comes out fast. So he's on the machine, it's not even 10 minutes, and he starts to scream. I will tell you, I've never heard my name scream like that again. And he only knows one person, and it's me, and he's screaming, and everybody's now panicking because they're trying to figure out what happened, what's causing the pain and the screaming. So we run into the room where the machine is as it's coming down, and he jumps off and he looks at me, and I will honestly tell you, I've never seen fear in a man's face like that particular moment. He looks at me and all he can say is, "George, where is the bathroom?" So I'm asking the nurse, "Where's the bathroom?" And they're like, "It's just down this hall right here. It's the first door on the left." So I barely get the words out of my mouth, and he takes off running. He's got an IV. It's hooked. I literally am barely able to get it off the hook, and he's now dragging me. And I'm trying to give him the IV. We get to the bathroom. I'm in there because I made the mistake to go in and put the IV bag on the tank. Before I could tell the nurse not to shut the door, I get locked in there with him. I remember watching the movie Dumb and Dumber, and there was that particular scene. I thought it was fake when his feet came off the ground. I thought that was just for Hollywood. It's not. I remember Saddam's feet came off the ground, and he went and did his business. And I could tell you, at that moment, I was thinking, I don't get paid enough for this. But all joking aside, when I did get him back, we were just the two of us, and he said, "Hey, I know you had to tell me that, but it really did make a difference." It was at that point that I realized I could literally ask him anything I wanted to, and it would be very difficult for him to lie. And I could challenge him at that point without fear of, you know, him refusing to talk to me or shutting down or anything like that. It was only at that point we start talking about WMD and Al-Qaeda.